Hey everyone, since I talked about the discovery of Proxima b, a exoplanet in yesterday's video, I want to briefly touch on something I was going to do a what is video on but didn't put too much work into, and this is something called the Drake equation. It was an equation formulated by Dr. Frank Drake back in the early 60s to try and approximate the number of communicating species in the Milky Way galaxy which we are in. The equation isn't overly complicated, it's about half a dozen items long, all multiplying each other. It's number of stars in the galaxy multiplied by the number of planets around each star, multiplied by the fraction of those that could develop life. All those three we either have a pretty good approximation of, or we're slowly discovering more information about as we study the galaxy. But beyond this, we start getting more hypothetical. The next term is the fraction of those that do develop life, and the fraction of those that develop the ability to communicate, and so on and so forth. So far, we are only aware of one planet to develop life. That becomes basically the only planet known to develop life is Earth. So beyond that, we have zero idea of what values to put into the Drake equation. Depending on how optimistic or pessimistic you are, the resultant answer that the Drake equation gives can range from the several million communicating species all the way down to a handful or less. I will put links in the description below for those of you that are interested. The Drake equation itself is more unfortunately it's not particularly hard science, given how we can't plug any decent numbers into it with regards to the development of life, because like I said, we're only aware of Earth developing life, but it's kind of a good, it's an interesting intellectual exercise for those of you that are interested. Anyway, I just wanted to bring this up because it's kind of continuing on what I mentioned with what I talked about yesterday. Interestingly, Gene Roddenberry, when he was pitching Star Trek to the studios, did use the Drake equation to back up his claims of all the life that all the civilisations there would be in the galaxy. However, he couldn't remember the actual Drake equation, so he ended up writing down an equation and said it was the Drake equation. Apparently, the equation itself that he wrote down had some values to the power of 1, which if you're familiar with how powers work, x to the power of 1 is just equal to x, and when you showed the equation to Drake or someone in that field, they had to point out to Gene Roddenberry that pretty much that fact that anything to the power of 1 is equal to itself. But yeah, random fact of the day for you. Anyway, I'll see you all in tomorrow's video. Like, share, subscribe, and if you have any questions or topics for me, let me know in the comments below. Bye everyone.